Howdy, I'm Mitchell Whittington from the Visit Jefferson YouTube channel, and today we're going to talk about the Curse of Jay Gould. Sorry. But seriously though, what's an old historic city without a curse, right? Well, it turns out Jefferson does have a curse that was allegedly put on the town by railroad baron Jay Gould over a century ago. Now, let me be quick to say that I'm not here to prove or disprove the curse or any part of the legend. I'm just going to tell you the story that has been a part of the city of Jefferson ever since before I was even born. And I'm not really a young man. First, let's look at Jay Gould. But I have to be honest, there are any number of books out there about him, his life, his riches, his business deals. It would take hours to describe this complicated man, and here I am with only a few minutes to do so. Let me just oversimplify it a bit by saying that back in his day, he was to railroads what Bill Gates is to computers in our world. He was a mega-rich man that could have anything in the world that he wanted. And he wanted to build more railroads. As the story goes, Jay Gould came to Jefferson to approach the town fathers about marrying his railroad to the city's already bustling steamboat trade. As the story goes, they declined his offer, believing that steamboats were the future, not railroads. Allegedly, Jay Gould was so enraged that he stood out in the middle of the street, shook his fist in the air, and predicted the end of Jefferson with the words, "Bats will roost in your belfries, and grass will grow in your streets." When he signed the register at the Excelsior House where he is supposed to have stayed, he drew a jaybird and then wrote Gould. This is on display in the hotel's lobby for visitors to see. Now, the city of Jefferson always took the curse with a grain of salt. For example, in 1967, someone noticed that a few sprigs of grass were growing out in the street in front of Excelsior House. Dan Lester, mayor of Jefferson at the time, took his lawnmower and cut it down, as seen from this photograph that ran in the Jefferson Jimplecute newspaper. I guess Mayor Lester didn't want Jay Gould's curse to take root. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Where are we? Oh, fate is a funny thing, though. The rest of this Jay Gould video centers around his opulent railroad car, his rolling palace, if you will, that he named Atalanta, after the heroine in Greek mythology known for her speed. The Atalanta was built in 1886 by the Pullman Company. Gould had chosen a standard plan for his private car with a few customizations. When completed, the Atalanta was a sight to behold. It had staterooms, bathrooms, a dining room, even a kitchen. It is said that while traveling, Gould never spent a night away from the Atalanta. Gould had a special diet because of his health, and he traveled with a personal chef. Gould supposedly kept a milk cow in a baggage car near the Atalanta so that he would always have access to fresh dairy. Jay Gould died in 1892 after using the Atalanta for about 5 years. After his death, it was used for several years by his heirs while on railroad business, but eventually was no longer needed. The Atalanta then became an office for railroad company executives for the next several years, and it was then used by the federal government during World War I when the railroads were placed under national control, but was eventually retired. In 1933, the railroad yardmaster at Overton, Texas, Mr. James T. Davis, needed a place to live, so he contacted the corporate office in St. Louis. The Atalanta was brought to Texas and given to him. Mr. and Mrs. James T. Davis moved into the car and made it their home. They raised 2 children there and later retired to Belton, Texas. Unused, the Atalanta was moved to Pittner's Junction in 1946 and was placed in a field near the highway. J.T. Davis Sr. died in 1950, leaving the Atalanta to his wife. Eventually, Dan Lester, mayor of Jefferson, and his wife Ruth found the railroad car abandoned in a patch of weeds at Pittner's Junction in Rusk County. They bought the Atalanta for $1,200, had it moved to Jefferson, and then presented it to the Garden Club. Henry Eldridge donated a site for the Atalanta that was across the street from Excelsior House as a memorial to members of the Eldridge family. The ladies of the Garden Club launched into a frenzy of cleaning, scraping, and painting, and the Atalanta was soon restored to its original beauty. Gould's rolling palace was featured as part of the Jefferson Pilgrimage in 1955. In 1973, a movie named Don't Hang Up was filmed in Jefferson featuring the House of Seasons, the Jefferson Museum, and the Atalanta. It was soon repackaged as Don't Open the Door right after its original release. Here's a very short clip from the movie featuring the Atalanta.
Hot out there.
What you doing over here?
Well, I had to get out of there for a few minutes. Anyway, she's asleep.
Go on back over there.
Well, I don't like it. She ought to be in a hospital.
That's for me and Crawford to worry about.
Well, it's for me to worry about. I'm the one that has to take care of her.
Now, you get your butt back on over there and do what I'm telling you.
Is it weird to anyone but me that while the action is taking place inside the Atalanta, railroad noises are playing as if the car were part of a train traveling down the tracks? I mean, they even have train whistles in the background. But in that final scene of the clip, the lady runs out of what is clearly a stationary train car with landscaping around it, and it's definitely not on railroad tracks. I mean, there's even a historical marker right in front of it. It couldn't move if it wanted to. Maybe I should just write that off to artistic license, I guess. Yeah, it wasn't really a blockbuster, but if you want to see it for the wonderful footage of old Jefferson landmarks, it's on YouTube. Just search for, quote, Don't Open the Door, end quote, movie. I also talk about it in the visitjefferson.com video, Hollywood Jefferson. That video is all about the movies that have been filmed in Jefferson and Marion County. In 1983, Tony Gould, the great-great-grandson of Jay Gould, visited town and removed the curse that was supposedly put on the town by his ancestor. Speeches were made, receptions were held, and it was quite a celebration for the city. But let's take a look at the restored Atalanta. I'm only going to show you an interior photo or two in this video. To see the Atalanta and appreciate its beauty and elegance, you really should take the tour next time you're in Jefferson. The Atalanta is amazing and more opulent and plush than most of the houses I've lived in over the course of my life. And by the way, you can get tour information by contacting the Excelsior House Hotel, which is right across the street from the Atalanta. It's also a wonderful place to stay while you're in Jefferson. I can't recommend it enough. So, in closing, do I believe that the Curse of Jay Gould is real? Well, I'd say certainly not the bats in the belfries and the grass in the streets part. No, today Jefferson, Texas is a wonderful tourist destination that people from all over the region, all over the country in fact, come to enjoy. But as I sat in my car the other day, staring at a slow-moving train, I couldn't help but wonder whether Jay Gould actually got the last laugh. You see, Jefferson is bounded on 3 out of 4 sides by railroad tracks, and every time they go through an intersection, they are required to sound their horns. With all the trains that pass through town, there are delays and blaring horns all the time. Maybe that is the real Curse of Jay Gould. Well, if you've enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit the little thumbs up like button. Doesn't cost a thing, and it actually really does help the channel. And if you'd like to be notified when there are new uploads to the Visit Jefferson channel, just hit the subscribe button. You're not signing up for any weird mailing list or anything. You simply receive a notice when something's been uploaded to the Visit Jefferson YouTube channel. Well, thanks so much for watching this video about Jay Gould and his beloved Atalanta, and also all the others on visitjefferson.com. I really do appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you around Jefferson. Thanks.